Oh, it's a cold Melbourne night. Still in Oz. I was just thinking like how grateful I am for my upbringing, my working class life, really, working class families. You look around the world, you see a lot of people that have been very fortunate to have wonderful educations and sent to universities and piano lessons and singing lessons and dancing lessons, and I never received any of that, but I'm still grateful for the working class upbringing I've had, like the University of Life. I think it's such a huge benefit, and it's when you leave work you suddenly realise your value. You look back on time and you sort of think, oh my God, I've left work. Oh, the young ones are coming in now. They're taking over from you, and you might stop work and basically retire. Unless you choose to go back to work, but you've basically retired. So, but you do tend to start looking back, and you look around and you look at a lot of YouTube programs, you look at a lot of people when you travel, you can see a lot of people that are very fortunate to have had such brilliant educations. So, they might have been sent to universities to speak different languages and how to play the piano, and I would have loved a higher education, as a lot of my fellow friends would too. But then you look back on your life and you realise how much you've learnt from the University of Life and how much of value you actually have. There's so many things that a lot of the young ones can't learn from a university. It's 45 years of work, 45 years of life, having kids, bringing up kids, life experience. And it's bigger than what you realise yourself. Until you stop work, you start to realise what you have and how you've got to where you've got to and how you've succeeded. And it's been a lot of commitment. You can't achieve unless you commit. Unless you're lucky enough, fortunate enough to have everything thrown at you. Some people do. I've seen people and they can be quite brazen about what they say. It's amazing the difference of opinion depending on the upbringing you've had. So if you've had everything thrown at you and a lot of money, so you move to another country, all your accommodation, everything's paid for. Your university's paid for. Your food, travel expenses, everything's paid for. It's all handed to you on a platter. You're playing golf, poop. Everything you're doing came from someone else's hard work. They've given you this opportunity to live the most amazing life. And yeah, in a lot of ways, it can make you a little bit sort of, it's not so much jealous, because you're grateful of what you've had, you would be so grateful to have had such an amazing life like that, and have all these benefits and not to have to actually physically go to work for it. And but the positive is what you've learned and what you have to offer is very high. And I've heard a lot of people put themselves down. I saw some guy on YouTube the other day and he was saying, I'm just a trucker, I had no education. And you know what? He's an amazing guy. I was thinking, you're okay, mate. You know, you've done so well, and you've got yourself to this point in time, and he lives overseas, and he's got himself a girlfriend, and he, you know what, you still succeed in your own way. And there's some amazing people out there. I think if you're ever down, or you're a little bit sort of feeling self-conscious, or you're sort of a bit jealous of other people, don't be. Like, look at everyone's situation is different, and intelligence and education is such a intelligence. There's intelligence and there's intelligence. Like, I mean, I used to work at a hospital, and I could see on some amazing things. Like, take for instance, here's a funny example. There's a surgeon. You know, it's a surgeon. They've got a special car park. They come and park their car, and there's a car park, and there's the line, and they've got their car, and they drive along, and there's another car here. Well, they come in, and they're not in the car park, so they go back, and they keep going 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 back, and you're like, all you got to do is just turn the steering wheel a little bit more and pull in there, and, you know, well, you might, you know, this particular person might be a surgeon, so you're like, oh my God, so you can't drive a car properly, but you're a surgeon. So anyone can be trained to do a certain job. A lot of things are memory. Language is a memory. You could be trained to do a particular operation if you're trained exactly where to cut, how to tie the stitches, where to do the, you know, it's memory. It's, yeah. So intelligence is intelligence. There's all sorts of different ways to look at life. But yeah, be grateful. I think that's the point I'm trying to make. And be grateful for what you have and the life you've led and what you have to offer. Like, never put yourself down, because when you actually look through, you wouldn't have got this far unless you committed and you had a lot to offer. So yeah, even that guys like that truck driver, give yourself a pat on the back, mate, because you have earned your position in life. You know, like, everyone has something to offer. So yeah. And there was another guy I saw the other day. He was so lonely travelling, and you know, he'd worked all his life and he'd retired, and he was talking about how lonely he was, like, you know, and he couldn't find things to do, and and he was talking on YouTube, and I thought to myself, you've actually found the answer. You're talking on YouTube. I bet you he felt better after making that video, because you're expressing yourself on YouTube like I am now, and it's taken away that loneliness. So yeah, yeah, if you're feeling down, or just pick yourself up, just remember so many other people go through so many different emotions, and so what's the point of this video? I guess it's be grateful for what you've had, for what you've got, and just, yeah, when you go down a bit, pull yourself up. Don't let things get you down. Like, everyone has something to offer. But anyway, we'll talk soon, and I don't know why I had to make this video, but I think it was something to do with the different values people have depending on the way they were brought up. That's what it is. You might get people with a totally different opinion to yours, but it just depends on how they've been brought up. You got a traveller that's a young guy. He hasn't actually worked for years and years and years. He might have worked a little bit, but had a lot of money spent on him. He's had a very fortunate life, and his opinion of something would be so different to someone that might have had a harder life, had to actually work a lot harder for what he got. So his opinions are different, and it just depends from the world you came from, you know, like different backgrounds, different opinions. But the true opinion, I really believe, is the people that are grounded and that really had to earn everything they've got. They weren't given it. They weren't handed it. They're the ones that truly have the answers, that truly understand a lot more about life than the ones that have been so very fortunate. Anyway, that's my point. Anyway, Robbo signing off.